Okay, Karen.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Karen Prosser, Executive Director of Chagrin Arts, and it is my official duty to welcome you to tonight's event, Freedom Songs, presented by an incredible organization called Songwriting with Soldiers. First off, I'd like to recognize and thank tonight's sponsors, Tiffin University, Shawnee State University, The Ohio State University, and the Ohio Arts Council. Tonight, you'll learn how the Ohio Innocence Project and Songwriting with Soldiers teamed up, and you will meet Nancy Smith and Lena Green, two survivors who collaborated with the incredible songwriters and created the powerful lyrics and melodies that tell their stories through music. And making all this happen is Mary Judd, co-founder and program director of Songwriting with Soldiers, and Dr. Donna Mayerson from the VIA Institute. To find out more about all of these organizations and Chagrin Arts, Arts with a Purpose programming, please visit chagrinarts.org. It's one-stop shopping. You can learn about all of us. There will be a question and answer session at the end, assisted by Maddie Williams at The Ohio State University and Isabel Conrath at Tiffin University. We invite and encourage your questions through the chat room. I now have the great pleasure of introducing my colleague and friend from the Ohio Innocence Project, who inspires and challenges my work in the arts and opens new doors that bring awareness and educates our audiences about wrongful conviction. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Reed.
Well, thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
They say that lawyers are the silver-tongued ones, but you could charm anybody. But I always appreciate your great support of me and, more importantly, OIP. I want to say at the outset that we are very fortunate at OIP to have the support of organizations like Chagrin Arts. What started a couple of years ago with a single invitation to participate in one of Chagrin Arts' great programs has led to a multi-year collaboration. And it's really been one of the most exciting and rewarding parts of the work that we're doing in education through OIP. And everyone at Chagrin Arts has been exceptionally kind to OIP. Karen is a wonderful collaborator, but the board at Chagrin Arts has also just been as friendly and generous and open with us as we could have asked. And it means a lot, not just to me and the staff at OIP, but to our clients, which is the sole reason we exist. So I want to thank you, Karen, specifically, and everyone at Chagrin Arts for all of your support. It's really been a great partnership. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Ohio Innocence Project, we're located in Cincinnati, housed in the College of Law at the University of Cincinnati, and we were founded in 2003 as the only organization in Ohio that is devoted exclusively to preventing wrongful conviction and to assisting people who have been wrongfully convicted. In the 17 years that we've been in existence, we are responsible for the release of 30 Ohioans who collectively served over 625 years in prison for crimes they did not commit. You'll have the opportunity tonight to meet two very remarkable women who have experience with the horrors of wrongful conviction. But we always want our audiences to know that wrongful conviction does not define our clients or their families. They are certainly impacted by these experiences, but these people are some of the greatest individuals I've ever met anywhere in my life. And they are so much more than the sum of any one experience that they've had. They are truly some of the most resilient, caring, forgiving people. And what I've come to learn is that they are immensely talented. And I think tonight you will agree with me after you hear a couple of examples of the works that they've created. It's really wonderful. People who know me know that I like to joke about my desire to become Oprah. If I were Oprah, I would have my own list of favorite things, but tonight's program is like my list of favorite people. It's really just such a delight to be able to work with each and every one of you. And I wanted to start tonight by helping people understand a little bit about this unique collaboration. Uh, the Ohio Innocence Project, as you know, is partnered with Chagrin Arts. But a couple of years ago, we had the very good fortune of having an opportunity to work with an amazing nonprofit organization, Songwriting with Soldiers. And I want to introduce Mary Judd now, who is one of the co-founders of the project. And Mary's beautiful smile is going to warm us even as much as Janet's beautiful fireplace.
Oh, wow.
I haven't had the chance to spend much time with Mary, but I can tell you that even over the phone, her just warmth and generosity of spirit comes through. She's really a remarkable Renaissance woman with an incredible experience that we all benefit from. So, Mary, just to start, one of the things that's important to both OIP and Chagrin Arts is that people understand Songwriting with Soldiers. Could you explain to us a little bit how your organization came to be and tell us a little bit more about the work that you're doing around the country?
Yes, and thank you. I don't know if I've ever had an introduction that's got me all choked up before.
I'm
Thank
sorry.
Oh, it's a real honor to be here and a pleasure. I'm excited to talk about this program and the collaboration that brought us Songwriting with Soldiers to the Ohio Innocence Project. What Songwriting with Soldiers is, for those of you who are not familiar with us, is we are a nonprofit organization we were founded in 2012 by myself and an Austin-based songwriter, Darden Smith. And Darden is a songwriter, and I am an educator, an artist, a program creator, first and foremost in this context. And what we do is we created an organization that uses collaborative songwriting to build creativity, connections, and strengths. That's our official mission. And the fact that you said collaboration in regard to this, the collaboration is our sweet spot. The name Songwriting with Soldiers, it's not songwriting for or songwriting about. So it is literally bringing our professional songwriters of the highest level together with primarily military members and military families. That's why we are called Songwriting with Soldiers. In this context, we are songwriting with the Innocence Project, because my good friend and colleague from many years back, Donna Mayerson, knew about Songwriting with Soldiers. And when she got involved with the Innocence Project, she was thinking that might really be a good program in this context. So we were so excited to be invited to bring our program into this context and kind of test it in a different population, if you will. And what we found, we have been holding retreats and workshops around the country for active duty military veterans or military service members from all branches, with military families, with Gold Star parents. Those are parents who've lost their son or daughter in combat. We have held all female retreats. We've held retreats for special forces. We've held family retreats. So a real variety of stories are being told through the songwriting method. And we make it really clear, as we did with our participants at the Innocence Project, that we're like a blank page. We're a blank, a canvas or a score, a music song that has not been written yet. We are not political. We're not a religious organization. We're not a military organization. We're not a music therapy program. We use music and creative songwriting to help people tell their story. That's often very cathartic, very therapeutic. but we're not a therapy program. So we are a group of creative professionals that bring the arts, bring the creative songwriting, the creative writing, other workshops that we do in our retreat setting to facilitate this. So that's a lot of kind of the cushion around the songwriting that I'm telling you about. And if you'd like to learn more, songwritingwithsoldiers.org. You can learn a lot more about our program. You can read the lyrics as you listen to the songs and really get a broad story of the military population. And we're hoping through this work with the Innocence Project, as you'll see when you hear these stories, that the platform that we have created, the program that we create around the songwriting to give it the experience context and help people grow forward can be used in other settings. So this is a really prime opportunity for us to hear the experiences of the exonerees that you brought together and family members, and what the impact of the arts and songwriting can be on those who participate, and then the ripple effects of the understanding that it builds for so many other people who hear the songs or get to share the songs in order to help tell their stories too.
Mary, can you tell us a little bit how Songwriting with Soldiers came to be? I mean, I don't have any musical ability whatsoever. People have tried. But I'm very moved by music. It can completely change my mood. I remember that even as a kid, from church music or music on the old AM radios. They're just, and it's a very powerful way of reaching what's inside people. But how did you all come up with this idea to use music specifically, and then to focus on military families and service members?
Well, like many of these kinds of situations, it was not intended. It was a series of interesting coincidences in the right place at the right time. I think I'll prime you before I tell the story by asking everybody who's listening, do you have a favorite song? Do you have a song that really just pulled you in when you first heard it, or it helps you get through some of your hardest times, or it's the song you go to feel joy? I think, like you said, Pierce, most of us have some real strong reaction to music and a real positive relation. So when I was contacted, my old friend Arden Smith, we'd known each other since middle school. He called me 20 something years later. We hadn't seen each other 20 something years after college. And he's a songwriter, and he has been since I knew him in middle school, just always was a kid with his guitar writing songs, and he went on to have commercial success. And at the time he called me, I was working with the VIA Institute. I was working with the Discovery Channel, the founder of the Discovery Channel, creating specific theme-based retreats and doing a lot of work with my educational background in writing, just pull me into great projects. So I was putting retreats together. And when I talked to Darden, and he told me he was writing songs with students, and I just was listening thinking a lot of people would be curious about that. So my curiosity led me to go watch him write some songs with veterans. I had the only intention of seeing if Darden would be a good fit for the program I was creating and to write about it. But what happened that day, sitting down and seeing a really good songwriter and a veteran, like 22-year-old kid, in my book, I never would have thought was a veteran. So many things were whoa, whoa, whoa. And really our stereotypes were just falling away. And what happened was there was this beautiful lane of connection in there between someone sitting down asking really good questions, genuinely listening and caring, the songwriter, and the veteran being open and telling about being 22 and already having had 5 years in the military and how he was heading to the woods because he'd had enough. Just super honest. And then to get a song out of that. So there wasn't judgment. There was just, here's my story. And it's put into this beautiful piece of art that will live forever. and it can always speak for him, and it can be shared with other people. And it was, as a music fan, I loved watching it, but also as someone who was really right in the thick of a lot of the new field of positive psychology. I was seeing so many aspects of what researchers were studying about connections and about shared purpose and deep listening, and even specifically what happens in the body, as the positive emotions are built. It was like we both knew we have to try this in a different, we've got to do something. And Darden said, I can get more songwriters. This is a songwriter's dream. And I said, I'll create a program. And so that was in 2012. It's been 50 retreats later, and several, like 100 of these specific one-day workshops that we do. And we're doing online now. So we just couldn't not do it. The power of what happened for everybody involved, and the far reach of each of those songs, and then the context around it with what we could do to play off of all that positive connection going forward. We couldn't not do it. And so when Donna approached me to do it with the Innocence Project, it was, yes, let's try this. Let's
Doug has a way of being very persuasive. I'm very thankful for it, but I get it. Before we bring Donna in, Mary, we're going to watch a video from a specific retreat that Songwriting with Soldiers did with OIP, but could you just give the audience kind of a snapshot of how a retreat unfolds? What happens in that time?
Sure. It's a weekend retreat. And for those of you who've gone to conferences or retreats, it's a pretty standard format as far as arrive late Friday, a meet and greet, dinner, you get to know each other a little bit. And then we had 5 songwriters at this retreat. And it's kind of an icebreaker evening at first. And the songwriters that we bring in, you may not know their names, but you've likely heard their songs. So they are people who've written #1 hits. Many of them are in the folk or the country genre. At this point, it's a really quick storytelling form, so it works well for this. We're also planning to expand that, but they'll play their songs that you've heard on the radio, and they'll tell a story behind them so that the participants get to know them a little bit. And then it's to bed the next day. We start with like a meditation, get people centered, and then we pair off. So I think at the Innocence Project retreat, we had 4 or 3 participants writing in the morning, one-on-one, 3 or 4, I forget. And then in the afternoon, those who aren't writing are taking creative writing and art projects, tours of the grounds. We like to hold our retreats in beautiful settings, another primer and positive emotion booster, and getting you out of your regular routine and surroundings. And then the first night, we will have dinner and then a performance. So that first night, basically 24 hours later, 8 new songs were performed that didn't exist in the morning. And they are all so personal, and Nancy and Lena will speak to that. We have that concert the first night. Second day, we wake up and we do a strength spotting workshop. A lot of the work that from the VIA Institute is brought into this to really help people acknowledge what they've done and what they've brought to the table and created in such a short time. And then recognizing it in each other, continually building the creativity, the connections, the strengths. And then a group song's written. So all the participants came together to write a group song. Which is a really nice way to pull people together in the shared experience and taking that forward. And then by the end of that day, we have another performance. The family members were invited to come in and played all the songs again, a really nice closure. And after the retreat, we usually have really good photographers and videographers, recording engineers. So the participants get a book. We put together a book for them. Beautiful photography to savor. This is a savoring tool and a bragging tool. Proof of what happened. It really did happen. And we get like photographs of, I'll hold this up if you can see it. But this is Lena writing her song. And, just to give you the context, it's really intimate. And we don't want to just be for that weekend. It's truly a community and something that people can savor and share with friends and family. And then their songs, play the songs, share the videos, and stay connected. So in about, I think 6 months later, maybe not quite that many, we get together for a Zoom call. We had a Zoom call to bring people back to talk about how has it been, how is it to share your song, and just keep the connections going.
That is amazing and wonderful. You're a nonprofit, right?
Yes.
And the participants don't pay for your services, is that right? If someone wants to donate to Songwriting with Soldiers, is the best way for them to do that to go through your website?
Yes.
Okay. Could you just give us that name again? It's songwritingwithsoldiers.org.
Yes, songwritingwithsoldiers.org, and there will be a donate button right there. It's very easy. There's a lot of different options. You can contact our executive director and have a talk specifically about certain, if you've got questions or ideas for other ways you want to contribute. You can do one-time donation, you can do repeat, like monthly. But we raise all the money by individual donors, foundations, partner organizations. This retreat was fully funded by the Innocence Project, Ohio Innocence Project, the Mayerson Foundation, and a few other individual donors. Our retreats for Songwriting with Soldiers are many, many individual donors. The ASCAP Foundation, which is the song licensing. And that's another thing we do is we register the songs with ASCAP, and all the participants are co-writers of their song. So they are registered if anything was to come about with one of the songs. We have a partner organization, Boulder Crest Foundation, we've worked with many, many years. So that's how we're funded, but we really want the people who need it to be able to get there and provide this opportunity.
Well, thank you. It's the season of thanks. And even after a very long, hard year, it's, I think, kind of nice for people to see the work that you do. It gives us all hope, even in these difficult times. So we'll make sure that that information is available through our webpage as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being a part of all of this and for the work that you do that has nothing to do with innocence organizations. It's really, I can't say enough wonderful things about it. But instead of doing that, I'll say wonderful things about Dr. Donna Mayerson, who is one of my favorite co-conspirators. Donna, can you just explain, for those of you who don't know Donna, she is not only a positive psychologist, but one of the most generous people in every sense of the word. And all of us at OIP know that. In addition to some of her philanthropic work around Ohio, and particularly Southwest Ohio, I got to meet Donna when she approached OIP just about trying to support the attorneys and law students that work on our cases around issues with secondary trauma. And as Donna is apt to do, whenever she sees a need, she tries to fill it. So her work with OIP has grown exponentially. And I know that from clients and from staff members that all of us value her in ways that she can't possibly imagine. But in addition to her very big heart, she is one of the smartest people I know. And Donna, I want, if you could you tell us the process about how you kind of put two and two together? You're such a good matchmaker. By the way, I am looking, but for old and rich and in poor health. But on a professional level, can you tell us how you thought about OIP and Songwriting with Soldiers working together and how you kind of helped make that match for us?
Yeah, I have to echo Mary's thing about making people cry because it seems like your thing tonight. So thank you for that introduction. So I knew Mary for years and years related to her work in positive psychology. And I knew that she had worked with vets in this way, this very unique way of using music as a vehicle sort of to process emotions and, as she said, to bring people together and to bring sort of that sense of resilience out and some acknowledgement of the resilience that they experienced. And so as I was working with the attorneys and as I became familiar with the exonerees, it just was a perfect coming together for me. You know, I knew of Mary's work, and I knew that the people that she was working with had been traumatized, and trauma is so inherent in life in prison and for the families of those who are imprisoned. And so it just was a no-brainer to try to connect with her around that work. I'm also very compelled by the arts as a way of for people to process their emotions and to express themselves. And as you mentioned, there's so many of the exonerees who are so incredibly talented, artistic, musical, they just have found all these vehicles for expression that are pretty amazing. So I asked Mary if it was a possibility to extend their work to the work with exonerees and families. So I just thought it was a really good fit. And she was very accommodating and invited me to a retreat that they were doing. So I felt compelled to go to the retreat to really sort of feel firsthand and to see firsthand what the process was and whether that was really going to be a good fit. And by the end of the retreat, I was, I knew 100% that it was going to be a really useful vehicle for us. And then the next thing was, because it's such an outside the box kind of way of processing emotion and thinking about trauma. The next thing was like sort of convincing the exonerees and their families that this was like a good idea. So, but they came on board, and the rest is history. It was a remarkable, amazing coming together. I mean, Mary, as you said, is just an amazing person, and it was a love fest in every way. I mean, it began as a trust exercise, and it ended as a love fest.
Well, that's the perfect segue. Let's see if we can see some of the video of this weekend love fest between Songwriting with Soldiers and the Ohio Innocence Project. Mr. Mims, can you help us with that, please?
One of the things that we've always tried to do is give aftercare treatment to our exonerees. Most of them come out with various forms of PTSD, and they need help sort of reintegrating into society.
This is my story. This is my story.
Donna Mayerson, who's a psychologist here in town and been a longtime supporter of OIP, and her family's foundation, the Mayerson Foundation, have been doing fantastic work with therapy and counseling for our clients. A couple months ago, they had a weekend music therapy retreat where our exonerees were able to work with Grammy-winning artists to write songs about their experiences and to really express themselves in ways they hadn't been able to do before. Our exoneree, Chris Miller, his wife, Lena, she stayed with him and raised their kids. She had to be mother, father. She had to play every single role throughout his 17 years of wrongful incarceration.
All the days that I have waited, all the roles I had to play.
I just thought it was incredibly beautiful and moving.
Mother, father, sister, friend, and when can I breathe again? Stop going through the motions, stop all this worrying and breathe again. Because we deserve to live again. see your face right here beside me, and I know that you won't leave again. And we can breathe again. We can breathe again.
This is called On the Sea of Misery, right?
Dean Gillespie, I mean, it was actually music that got him through the 20 years of wrongful incarceration.
Found my place in this space to kill another day, trying to pass the time to stay alive.
He would listen to the same inspirational songs before going to sleep, just to clear out all the crap that he saw during the day from his head so that he could sleep and start the day anew.
Freedom, sweet freedom, don't miss it till you need it. Like a man who's thirsty but finds a poison well.
Songs are the most meaningful things to him.
All I did was stand in line, doing 20 years, living in heaven.
Now he's been able to come out and tell his story in the same format.
Yeah.
You know, Nancy Smith, just such an amazing person, spent all those years in prison. She was a single mom, separated from her children.
I could talk about faith and forgiveness. I could talk about hearing the call. I didn't know just how much I'd have to live it inside those walls.
When I would go visit her in prison, she would just be in absolute agony. It was almost impossible to get through the meeting because she was so desperate for help and crying. I remember on one occasion, I had felt so much pressure driving back from prison that I started getting sick and I had to pull off to the side of the road because I felt the chances of
leaving Marysville behind me every day, praying that I always will slip a little further away.
to see her write a song about her healing process and how she's able to leave it behind. The song is about leaving Marysville, which is the prison, and how every day she wakes up and it's further and further in her rearview mirror. I can't imagine what it was for her, but it's incredibly touching for me. The exonerees who went through this experience and were able to write these songs and draw into themselves, dig something out of themselves that they haven't been able to in any other format or through any other means was really rewarding to see. I mean, the texts I was getting the following Monday after the music retreat of appreciation and just text saying, like, that was the most meaningful, helpful experience that I've ever gone through. Thank you so much for that. Again, this is something that no other Innocence project has been able to do. We're just so thankful to the Mayerson Foundation and to Donna.
No more shackles, no more chains, no more riding on that midnight train. I am free. I am now. I am now. Oh.
Thank you, Mr. Mims. For those of you who found yourself getting a little misty-eyed during that, you were not alone. But I want to go back to some of the joy in all of this, and the perfect person to help us with that is Ms. Nancy Smith. Hi, Nancy.
Hi.
How are you tonight?
I'm good. Good.
For those of you who don't know, Nancy is also an incredibly talented painter. And we've had the good experience through Chagrin Arts to showcase some of her visual work. But I have to say that the reason you and Lena are here tonight, in part, is because both of your songs got right to my core. And I think a lot of people had that experience. So we're going to start with you, Nancy. Can you tell us a little bit about what you thought when you were first asked if you wanted to go off to a farm for a weekend retreat and write songs about your experience?
So I was real hesitant. I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this for 3 days, and I don't know what's it going to be like, because I've always got this, who do I want to talk to about my story? How do I want to tell it? And then when they said, you're going to write a song, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's not going to happen. I was like, okay, and then I was like, okay, so it was only like 30 minutes away from my home. And I thought, okay, this is great because I have my 2 dogs, so I'll be able to go home every night to them and whatever. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go. And I can tell you that it was the most healing thing that I could have ever done in my life. It was such a blessing in disguise that I just didn't know it until I got there. And just to be able to tell my feelings and my emotions, and have these 2 incredible people write this song down for me and put my experience and my pain and my faith and I'm a crybaby, so forgive me for that, into a song was just amazing. It was just an amazing weekend, and to be with the fellow exonerees and to be with their wives and their boyfriends and their family and just to meet Donna and I already knew Donna, but Mary and and her husband and the rest of them, it was just an absolute gift that was given to each one of us that were able to join and do that retreat for that weekend. It really truly was a gift.
Well, and you gave a gift to all of us with your song. So we heard a little bit of it during the video, but Mr. Mims, could we please listen to Nancy's full song?
I could talk about faith and forgiveness. I could talk about hearing the call. I didn't know just how much I'd have to live it inside those walls. All the chaos and the crazy took a little piece of me. I wake up leaving Marysville behind me every day, praying that I always will slip a little further away from Marysville every day. the things they say and do. There's rumors and there's right and there's wrong. Well, I made that list and put it in the water, stirred it all around till it was gone. So the chaos and the crazy wasn't getting any more of me. I wake up leaving Marysville behind me every day, praying that I always will slip a little further away from Marysville every day. I used to paint the shadows from deep inside the darkness, thinking God had turned his back on me. But now I'm seeing every color, feeling every shade of freedom so clearly when I wake up leaving Marysville behind me every day, praying that I always will slip a little further away from Marysville every day, from Marysville every day.
For those of you who may not know, Marysville is not just a town in Ohio. It is the home of the Ohio Reformatory for Women, the one major prison in Ohio for women. Nancy, could you tell us a little bit about what that song means to you and what you would like people to understand when they hear it?
So I would go to bed at night when I first come home, and I still have dreams that I'm in Marysville. And at first it would just I would wake up and I would be like, why am I dreaming of this? I'm home, I'm free. Why do I keep dreaming this? But one of the things that I noticed that was so important was that every time I dreamt of Marysville, I was always leaving. I wasn't staying. So that's where we came up with the song Leaving Marysville, because in my dream, I was always leaving. It was like there was nobody holding me back anymore. And I would dream about that horrible place, but I also, in that dream, was walking out of that horrible place. And I still have them every now and then, not as bad as I used to. But the one part in the song where it said that I would put that piece of paper in the water and stir it all around until it was gone, that was a big moment for me in prison, because I had done the Kairos program. And that's when I really started, I guess, my healing of forgiveness. And that weekend, on that Saturday, we had to write down on this piece of paper people that we forgive and people that needed to forgive us or whatnot. And then you take it in this water and it just dissolves, And that was the beginning of my journey to I just had to know that it was time for me to forgive these people for what they did to me. I could not I could not live in this pain and this anger and this hatred that I had in my heart. I had so much hatred in my heart for these people. And it was just like, it's not healing for me if I don't let go of it. And I did a lot of praying and a lot of soul searching on this. And I just had to start healing. I just had to forgive. And that was the part of my journey that and part of my healing. And it just, it was just sharing that in that song. And I guess just to let people know, that you got, no matter what, no matter how hard life is thrown at you or balls are thrown at you, you just have to learn to forgive and move on in your life. You cannot let someone else's misery make you that miserable. And I just couldn't do it anymore. And I still listen to that song and I just say, sometimes, and I cry because I think there was a time when I didn't think I was ever going to leave Marysville. But God had a different plan. And he still has a different plan for my life, and every day he works in my life. And one of them was leaving Marysville. Thank God. I didn't, she gave me 30 to 90 years. I didn't know when I was going to come home. I didn't know if I was ever going to come home. But between the Ohio Innocent Project and Judge Burge, they made that happen for me. And most of all, God opened them doors, and he still continues to open doors for me. But I mean, what a beautiful song. I mean, they took my words and they made it into this beautiful song that I could never have imagined would ever happen. And I just hope that someday I can play it for some of the other girls that are in Marysville that feel like they don't have hope, like that they'll never leave, because they will. It's just a matter of where you're going to put your faith and how much you're going to trust in God and not give up, and don't turn your back on him, because he doesn't turn his back on us, and he will help us leave. And he opened that door of them gates of Marysville for me. And I know that he can for so many other people, especially the women that are innocent that are still sitting behind the bars, or the men. It's a sad situation. But this was a great program, and I was very blessed to be part of it.
Well, and we're all blessed to have you, Nancy, honestly. And I promise you, St. Cecilia is very proud of you. I looked it up to be sure. She's the patron saint of music. So you did good.
Well, I couldn't have, I could not have wrote a better song without Darren and Maya, they were incredible. And look what they put together for me. They took my words and made it into this incredible song, I'm waiting for them to win a Grammy for it now. We just got to get it out there so they can win a Grammy for it. But they
I'm
deserve
so
it.
with you. I will buy copies, I promise. All right. Let's shift a little bit to a different perspective through a song and bring in Lena Green. You saw some of Lena during the video that when we were watching it earlier. But one of the things at OIP we want people to understand is that it is not only the person who's wrongfully convicted that's impacted by this tragedy. Their families are also convicted in a sense. And we know that Nancy was taken away from her children, and nothing is ever going to make that okay. The same thing is true with Lena, but in a different perspective. Her partner, who she knew was innocent, was wrongfully convicted and sentenced. And at the time he was put in prison, Lena and Chris were the parents of young children. So that's a challenge in a good day, but it's particularly hard when you need to protect your children from the tragedy that's unfolding around them. So, Lena, can we start with you with kind of the same question? What did you think when you were invited to participate in this retreat? We need to unmute Lena, please.
morning,
We have you
everybody.
now, Lena.
Before I get started, I just want to say to Nancy that your song gets me every time. I just can't imagine being a mom and being taken away from your children. So I just want to say I admire you for that.
Well, that's what your song does for me. I mean, I just to breathe, you know, just when you say just to breathe again, I mean, I can't even imagine.
So for my experience, for me, it been starting out just being Chris' support system, just being there for him and supporting him and everything through his transition. I never in a million years would have thought that I would be getting so much out of this journey as well. And when I was asked to come to the retreat, I was kind of a little bit on the edge or uneasy about doing it as well, but because I have so many different parts of my experience to tell, so I didn't even know which way to go or how to even to begin to tell like what I was feeling or what I was going through. Or, just having that sitting there just on that couch, just having a conversation with Darden, and he just asking me all these different questions helped me figure out and come through what I really has been feeling over those years, being so young and having Chris, the father of my children, taken away, and all the roles that I had to play with raising them. It just all came. That's just pretty much it. And it was a wonderful thing that I was able to express myself in music and get a little bit of my story told.
Let's take a listen to that song because, like Nancy's, it is incredibly powerful and it helps people understand the experience of women like Lena. So, Mr. Mims, could you please play Breathe Again?
All the prayers that I've been praying, all the words I couldn't say, all the days that I have waited, all the roles I had to play. Mother, father, sister, friend, and when can I breathe again? Stop going through the motions, stop all this worrying and breathe again. Just be free, free to live again. See your face right here beside me and know that you won't leave again. And breathe again. All the hours I've been working, all the truth I had to hide, always trying to be perfect, always breaking down inside. I gave so much that now I don't know who I am and when. Can I breathe again? Learn to trust this love is real. I will, you, we will all breathe again. Because we deserve to live again. your face right here beside me and know that you won't leave again. We can breathe again. We can breathe again. Breathe again. Oh, we can breathe again.
Thank you, Mr. Mims. I want to give you a chance, Lena, before we get to questions and answers, because we're running a little short on time, but could you tell us what you want people to take away from your song or from your experience as someone who's lived through this in a way that a lot of people don't understand? What do you want people to take away from tonight in your experience?
Well, I'm gonna quote one of the verses in the song because it was kind of really important to me. When it said the truth I had to hide, and out of the 17 years that Christopher was convicted, 15 years on my job, none of my coworkers knew about that ordeal. So I went to work for 15 years without letting anybody know that part of my life. So to try to cover that up and act normal day out and day in, and sometimes getting ridiculed about not having the support for my son or for the kids, and I had to kind of brush those things under the rug just not to tell the truth because I didn't want to be judged and I didn't want my kids to be judged. And that's sad to really went through all that time not really letting a lot of people know what was really going on with me, and still try to hold a smile or be positive every day because I had these two kids looking up at me every day and trying to keep their hope alive and their spirits up to know that dad will one day be home. So it's just a lot, and it's sad to even think about it now, even though time is on our side now, and we're trying to move forward, but just to think about it, it's sad.
Thank you for sharing that with us, because I know it's painful. And
Here's,
yeah, of course.
I can say something real quick to Lena while I've got it. I just want her to know that her song touches so many families because all our families are breathing again. They've all held their breath for so long, and that her song just brings out so much emotion in me because I know now that my family is breathing again also because I'm home with them, and her song just it's amazing and it's very touching to me. And I love these guys, every one of them that are exonerated, and they're just, but it's just so powerful that, she could take that song and just talk about how, all our families are breathing again. And it's just, I wish that everybody could listen to that song and hear it, I love her words and I love the song, and I just needed to share that with her and Chris.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I couldn't have said it better, Nancy. And both of you are truly heroines in every sense of the word. Truly, you're just remarkable, strong, talented, beautiful people. And I hate people, and you both know that. So don't make me say these nice things. It's going to make me mad. All right, we're almost out of time, but I do want to make sure we get to a couple of questions if we could. Isabel from Tiffin, what are you inquiring about on behalf of your people over there? Isabel's choked up like the rest of us.
Sorry, yeah, and I was couldn't get unmuted there for a second, but Nancy, this one question is for you. Just how important is the post-exoneration assistance, like this program, for people in your situation? I think it's underestimated. It's like you're free, so they kind of just expect that everything's okay. But how important is activities like this for you?
I mean, is it ever going to really be okay? No. It's a nightmare that you hope to wake up from, and you do wake up from, but it's always going to be there. It's always going to haunt you. It's always going to haunt your family. And just to be able to talk about what I went through and what my family went through, and you know, it's soothing for my soul, you know. It's just, you know, it's just, God, what can I say? It's just having faith and just never giving up, you know, and just anybody else that would ever be in the situation that I've been in, or Chris has been in, or Raymond, or Dean, you know, we just can never lose faith no matter what, you know, and it's just powerful words like those are what give people hope and faith. You know, like I said, if I could share that song in Marysville for women that are innocent women that are probably still sitting in there, you know, that I don't even know of, have been home 12 years, or just for people who are there, but just feel like they don't have any hope, you know, I think it would be an amazing song for them to know that there is hope, and there, you know, and we do have a God, and he loves us, and he does open doors for us. Did that answer your question? I mean, I answered that okay? All right.
Thank you, Isabel and Nancy. Maddie from Ohio State, are you able to call in to ask us the questions you've been collecting?
Hi, sorry, I was waiting to be unmuted, but first I just wanted to say thank you so much for all of you guys for speaking with us. I think this was such a cool opportunity to hear your stories and learn about what you guys have been doing. I think it's incredible, and I had no idea it was even going on. I do have one question that I want to make sure that I ask before I forgot it, and then I have a few more I can ask later. But directed towards the few of you that have studied positive psychology, in what way have you witnessed like this music's healing power? And then the second part to that, Nancy and Lena, how do you feel like you firsthand experienced this healing power?
I couldn't understand her.
Maddie, that's a little, could you repeat your question, please? I know it's two parts.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was switching between my notes app to get that question. But those of you that have studied positive psychology, I'm doing that right now, but I was just wondering how you guys have noticed that music is kind of like a healing power to the mind in this case scenario. And the second part to that would be towards Nancy and Lena. How have you personally experienced this healing power?
So I think the first part is directed to Donna and Mary. And the question is about as positive psychologists, how do you identify the healing powers of music? What is it about music that helps us heal? And the second part of the question is directed to Lena and to Nancy about their experience in that way.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Maddie. Mary or Donna, do you want to start with helping us understand positive psychology and how that school of thought looks at music as a healing tool? We need to unmute Mary, please.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, I'll just quickly transparent here. I am not a psychologist. So, and I'm not a therapist. I have an education and a creative writing and art background. So, and a lot of coaching, but I've worked with a lot of positive psychologists and written manuals to put positive psychology into coaching programs. So I'm very familiar with it. I apply it. So I think from my viewpoint, it's deliberately putting in a lot of the applications that have been studied. And like we're seeing here, just getting people together in small groups, opportunities to listen, to share their story, to feel heard, real basic needs. And then the science behind music's impact on well-being is still really pretty new. I mean, we actually, one of our board members is on the Oliver Sacks Institute, and they're doing some studies on rhythm and music's impact on the body's the nervous system, things like that. But specifically, what we're looking at, which is very basic pre and post surveys, is do you feel more hopeful? Do you feel a sense of connection? Do you feel less stress? So it's very much of a personal Likert scale, just on a scale of 1 to 10. And we are seeing consistently that people feel less stress. And this is even just in a one-off songwriting session online. But the retreats, there's so many other elements to it that I just think it's like a firework here, where it's just the collaborative songwriting is just this nugget that just goes and just explodes so many positive aspects that are worth building on. And Donna can speak much more eloquently and expertly on the literally the therapeutic effects of what she's seen.
Yeah, so we don't really have time for me to speak eloquently, but I can say that positive psychology's focus is on resilience and building a life in a positive way. And so if you look at trauma and the harm that trauma does, it's not just about recovering from the trauma, but it's building a good life from that point. And so I think this unleashes and allows people to process what they're experiencing. But I think also music touches into people's souls, and it really allows people to sort of transcend some of the pain and reach into some joy and just positive emotion, as Mary was saying earlier.
Donna, is there a good resource for people if they want to learn more about positive psychology that you could recommend?
Yeah, there are a lot of good resources. There's one called Positive Psychology in a Nutshell. That's a quick and dirty sort of resource, but there are hundreds of books written about aspects of positive psychology and strengths and resilience.
And that's the right term to use, right? Positive psychology?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Lena and Nancy, do you want to just a little bit about how this experience was for you in terms of that emotional catharsis?
I'll say, just like basically back what Donna has said, a lot of people probably have a favorite song that they go to when they're feeling down and like lift them up, or feeling happy in a good mood, they go to their favorite song. So for me, to know now that I have a song basically about my personal experience and that I can listen to was amazing, and it helped me in so many ways that I didn't even know it could have. So for me, that's my experience with the healing with music.
Nancy?
Mine was so music is a big thing in prison, because you can put a CD in a CD player, and we have this thing which is called a walk jog, and you could just walk it and just listen to your music, and it just takes you away from all that chaos and craziness that's in that place. And believe me, there is so much of it that you just put them earbuds in, and I mean, literally, it would just take me out of that place. Just like when I would sit in art guild and paint, it would just take me into a whole different place. I would paint these mountains and these skies and these beautiful lakes and water, and it was just like, I want to be there. I'm there on that mountaintop, and it just takes you away from, like I said, all that chaos and the craziness that you endure while you're in that prison. And music was a big thing, because I could just put my earbuds in and put my Pink Floyd or whatever it was that I wanted to listen to, my great classic music, and it was my getaway. And the song is just like amazing. I mean, I just like I have it in my car so I can stick it in my CD player and listen to it. And I just sing along with it and cry with it. And just, music is just an important part, I think, in everybody's life at some point in time in their life. I think we all turn to a little bit of music and to get away from all of it sometimes. Sometimes you just need to. And there it was all the time.
Yeah, Mary.
I'll add one thing to what Nancy said in case people might be curious. One thing that we've seen in other retreats is people, they may have gone to a really dark place in their song and don't really want to listen to it that much more after it. It means a lot to them, but it's almost like, okay, I put that in this form and I'm ready for my new story now. And so it can also be a really helpful tool in that of just kind of wrapping it up in this beautiful form. But it's a really nice launching into I'm ready for my new future story. And that's why even following up with a second song can really be powerful. If somebody like, all right, I'm ready to, it's really good essence of post-traumatic growth or just a new future story can be helpful.
Yeah.
That's great. I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. It exceeded my expectations, which was just to help you learn about the incredible work that Songwriting with Soldiers does, but also to introduce you to two incredible women, Nancy and Lena. It just, in all of the challenges that the world faces now, it really is hard to have hope, and it's hard to believe that we're ever going to heal all of this. But even a grumpy old man like me in this context is smiling very genuinely. It's not my fake smile. And I am just filled with great appreciation to Mary, to Donna, to Lena, to Nancy. Didn't forget you, Karen. I was saving you to help at the end. But also, Isabel and Maddie are some of the student leaders that we have around the state that work in addition to their studies and their jobs to help educate people about wrongful convictions and how they impact people. And we're so thankful to them and to all our students, but as well to the advisors of the chapters they work in. Elaine McLaughlin, Overholt is with us tonight from Ohio State, who gives her time to that chapter. Sean Dunn from Shawnee State is working hard in Portsmouth to help with our work there. And Steve Hurwitz, the professor at Tiffin, who for years and years and years has brought art and music to his students as he educates them about wrongful conviction. And all of us at OIP are so thankful to all of you. We wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. We hope that you will stay safe, and we hope that you will continue to make music. Don't forget to check out Songwriting with Soldiers. Don't forget to check out Chagrin Arts. And you can always find OIP and our clients as well, both on Facebook and at the University of Cincinnati College of Law website. Thank you all. Take good care of yourselves. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, Pierce.
Thank you all. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Karen.
Oh,
Donna. All of you.
this is beautiful. Thank you, Nancy and Lena, for again.
Thank you, Mary.
Bye, Lena.